Hi, and welcome to A Cup of Tea with Steve. It's Pride Month, hooray! So today's guest is a huge ally of the LGBT community. She champions mental health and talks about her own mental health, and she really doesn't need much of an introduction because we all love her. It's Gail Porter. Hello, darling.
Hello, I've got my Pride socks on. Hang on.
Have you?
Yeah, happy socks, Pride.
Oh!
Yeah, yay!
I've actually got my Pride underpants on, but I won't show you those. In case I'm taken off air. Listen, you're a huge supporter of the LGBT community. I've seen loads of pictures of you dressed up at different prides. What does Pride mean to you?
Obviously, it's a very important time for everybody, and awareness, and obviously the big march and the party is fantastic. But no, I think it's just so brilliant for everybody to come together and be themselves and not care what anybody thinks. And I mean, I missed it like crazy. I know it's Pride Month, but I'm in and out of Soho all the time. So
Listen, to one thing that's really interesting, but you do have a black belt in karate.
I do. I've got 2 black belts. Yeah, I've got a second dan in karate, and I've got a second dan in kickboxing.
Now, how important do you think it is that, I always think that should be taught in schools to protect, so women can protect themselves. How important do you think of being, is that something you taught your daughter?
Well, I took her to a class and she was not enjoying it very much. She's more of a runner, so she can run away and I'll fight them. I think it's something that children should learn at school, definitely, because it's so important, especially now. I mean, I don't know, I'm in sort of northwest London, and I do not like coming home at night on my own. There's usually gangs of groups all standing around the tube at the station, and it really, really intimidates me. And I'm quite, I'm only 5'1", and I've got no hair. So for teenage kids, you see a woman that's got a bald head, and they can be a bit unkind, but yeah, I always know that I've got my wee skills, my ninja skills.
You mean to say that people actually shout things or say things because you don't have hair?
Yeah, not all the time, depending on if they're, high or drunk or something, and one of them showing off to their mates. And then they think it's really funny, but they wait till I walk past and then they'll shout "Baldy," and I go, "I know, thanks for that." I wish they'd do something quite funny, but they never do anything very funny.
I know. So is body confidence something you taught Honey as she was growing up, or what did you talk to her about how she?
Yeah, well, because I lost my hair when Honey was 2, she's grown up with me looking the way that I look. So, and I was very open to about like food issues and things like that, because I had all sorts of terrible issues with food, overeating, undereating, not eating. She is just like, she's really, really tall, because my ex-husband's very tall. So she's really tall, eats what she wants, wears what she wants. She'll take no, if anyone even looks at me, even when she was little, if he looked at me in a funny way, she'd just go, "It's my mum and she's got alopecia." And I go, "Oh, thanks." She's good. She's cool. So yeah, she's always great with me if I'm having a bad day. I'm worse. She's like my mum. She's exactly me.
That's incredibly sexy. I remember Nell McAndrews, the model, shaving her hair off completely and becoming an overnight sensation because of it. And some of the Star Trek have become sex symbols. So it's.
I thought maybe I should audition for Star Trek before I get into to get any older, as I've just turned 50. So I thought, right, I need to take a change of career here. I need to go and do something like Star Trek or Star Wars. Prefer Star Wars, but Star Trek, they like the bald look.
Yeah. But you once famously posed nude on the front of the Houses of Parliament, or it was beamed up for the God magazine FHM. Is that something you regret doing, or is it an era that you enjoyed?
Well, obviously I knew I did the shoot, but they didn't tell me they were going to use the image, and then I didn't get paid for the shoot, and I saw it in the news like everybody else. So that was a massive shock. I didn't know, because it was a PR stunt that they did behind my back. So the first I knew of it was on BBC News in the morning, and there's people outside my house, and I was like, "Oh my God." never expected that at all. And my mum's on the phone going, "What have you done now?" I wasn't too wise. You know, they just say, "Oh, we haven't got any money." Pretty much like they're saying now, not that they want me for magazines, but anything. Yeah, we haven't got any money, but come along, and they'd get nice clothes for you to dress up in, and then suddenly the clothes would be bikinis, and then the bikinis be coming off. So, but I only ever showed my bottom, I think. I'm not sure what the other ones were.
Your bottom. I mean, it's, you know,
Yeah.
I say, and it looked great, by the way. It was a great picture. But I think often the girls would think they were coming to do something, I think, and they were doing something completely different.
I couldn't believe it. Someone said to me recently, they went, "Would you ever recreate that?" And I was like, "Are you mad?" No. Who wants to see old 50-year-old arse on anything? Anyway.
Joan manages to keep going. I think she's stripped up all the way to probably to now she could do. But I mean, it does, you know, now it's all on Instagram and everything, and girls are stripping off for free, some of them quite happily, and putting it on Instagram. But the thing that worries me is the mental health aspect of it. And I know you're a huge campaigner of mental health, and you go into schools and talk about it. For me, growing up, there was no such thing as mental health. It was, think of the people in China, you know, they're starving. How important do you think it is to talk about it?
Oh yeah, I think it's a really important. I think that it's another thing that should be taught in schools. You know, just have a class a week where you just maybe encouraged to speak out about anything whatsoever. Because if you don't speak about it, you just hold it in. Because I held it in for ages, and then I'd end up going off the rails and locking myself in the house, or going out and partying too hard because I didn't know what to do with myself, and I didn't want to tell my friends because I was embarrassed. And then I was just hiding for ages, and people thought I was busy, and I just kept it that way. And then, of course, remember we all got, well, I had my phone hacked as well, so you weren't trusting people. And with your mental health issues, that was a really bad time, because I thought my friends were selling stories, and I didn't realize that my phone was being hacked. And so
mine too.
Yours too, yeah.
And
So it was a weird
only because of the people I knew, and I found out much later it was done. And of course that and everyone was suspicious of each other. But I mean, you just have something really interesting. You're too embarrassed to tell your friends.
Yeah.
And then lies the root. I think we're brought up to believe that stiff upper lip, and then we have to be able to teach kids that it's okay to say you're not okay. If you are being bullied, it's nothing to be ashamed of, and I think that needs to be taught right from day one at schools.
Absolutely, because like you say, it's really, you feel embarrassed, you feel ashamed, and so you don't want to say, "Do you know what, I'm having a really, really bad day." I've been okay, touch wood-ish, over lockdown, because I've been doing lots of Zooms, but I did have a couple of weeks where it was awful, and I was really, really struggling. The phones were off, my friends were banging on the doors to find out what's been happening, and because everyone's worried, and I just put a note on the door. It's just like, "Don't worry, but I can't talk to you, can't talk to anyone." I just couldn't do it.
And people don't understand that. So many people don't. If you do, they worry that you're doing something, and it's a vicious circle. I have one friend that had really bad mental health, and they tried to take their own life over Christmas, and it was just and you're left feeling just lost as to what to do. And I think also with men, I don't know if you realize that more men take their lives than women do in this country. And I know your friend Keith Flint took his life over the last year, and again, not enough talking about, and not enough talking about who's left behind either. The effect it has on your mental health to lose even someone you just generally know. It affects them, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just, it's terrifying. How's your mental health been over the lockdown? The breakdown. I mean, the lockdown.
I've always been really good at being on my own, even though everyone thinks I'm the huge party guy I am. I've always enjoyed my own company and left from an early age to do that. So I didn't have any problems in that aspect. It was other people around me that had effects of it that I saw, and that obviously disturbed me. But I think, again, it's about talking again and being on the phone and doing Zoom like you just suggested. But what effect did it have on you when you lost someone that you were close to like that?
Oh gosh, I've lost too many people.
Yeah.
I had someone I worked with and trained with and went to the gym with. She committed suicide, thought she was all fine, and she sort of went off the rails a bit. And she did what I did and just didn't answer the phone. And then I read about it in the papers, and yeah, it's horrible. It's terrible because you just think, you know, we all get dark thoughts, but you know, now that I've got Honey, uh, without Honey, honestly, I say this to some people. I was just say, I don't think I'd still be here if I didn't have my daughter. You
Yeah.
know, because did the whole homeless thing, had no money, lost my house, everything went wrong, and I had a terrible, it was 6 months to a year of it. Couldn't get any work. I was sleeping outside. It was just horrible. And I thought, oh my God, if I didn't have Honey, I would just. Whoa. So it's a terrible way to think, but I always talk myself out of it, you know.
And you have a good relationship with Honey, don't you?
Oh yeah, fantastic. She's just gone off to look at a uni today. So I said, can I come? She's like, no, she's gone with a boyfriend. So I've been ditched. I've been ditched today.
Listen, I just won't harp on this subject, but anyone that's sitting at home right now feeling like that might be tuning into the video, what would you suggest to them they do if they're feeling suicidal or so down? What would you
Get outside, even if it's raining or something like that. Just get outside, go for a walk, just to the top of the road or to the bottom of the roads, whatever. I have to get out because if I put the covers back over my head, it's game over. So I would say do that, or put on your favorite movie, or sometimes like your favorite song. And you know, it's hard to get up and do things when you feel like that, you know, when you feel that darkness come over you. But I always find that even if I'm really, really bad, I'll put a hat on, put some glasses on, put a beard on. No, I don't really. I just go out.
I'm done.
Beard on, just look a bit weird. But no, just get out or speak to. You have to speak to someone because I'm an ambassador for the Samaritans as well. So
and
you
mine as
hear
well.
all the statistics and oh God. And also I'm always on Twitter or Instagram answering people's questions, or I've had a couple this morning actually saying I'm really struggling. I mean, I can't help everybody, but talk, even if it is like you send someone a message or a text or just saying, just to let you know I'm not feeling the best.
How does that affect your psyche when people are you know, the energy coming off people that are down? How do you protect yourself from that?
Yeah, that's my difficult thing because sometimes I open up myself too much, and then you can get loads of messages, and then I become overwhelmed, and I just say, do you know what, you're gonna have to speak to the Samaritans because I can't cope. And then sometimes I'm quite happy to chat if someone's having like it's the middle of the night or something, and not always because I don't everybody message me.
When people
my phone number is 07. Yeah, but I sometimes I can't cope with it all. But
were you on your own totally during the pandemic, or was Honey with you, or were you on your own?
My dad died just before the first lockdown, so he was in Spain. So I spoke to him in the morning, and he had a massive brain hemorrhage in the afternoon and just dropped down dead. So I had to fly over to Spain, identify his body, get him cremated, and bring him back. I got back 2 days before lockdown. So obviously I didn't take Honey to do all that. That's not fair. She went to her dad's, and then when I got back, I'd got COVID. So I was stuck in the house, and so I couldn't see Honey for, oh my gosh, it was a couple of months, 3 months or something. I was really sick. And since then she's been backwards and forwards. So yeah, she's in my bubble, so I get to see her. But you know, she's got her boyfriend and stuff. So she's
the vaccine.
I've had both, yeah.
You know, I've had both. But the light side, what you're not dating at the moment, are you? No, I don't know. What would you be your idea of perfect romantic evening if you had one?
I'd be at the Admiral Duncan to start. I don't do romance.
You don't do romance. I thought romance was something that just happened, rather than saying you don't do it. You can't plan romantic.
I've literally not been on a date for goodness knows how long, and I wouldn't even know what to do.
I haven't been on a date in 10 years.
I'm about the same.
Yeah, must be a Scottish thing.
Yeah. As much as it's been a bit hard in lockdown, I've kind of enjoyed my own company, and I love wandering around and going out whenever I feel like it. And I don't think I could cope with someone telling me what they wanted to watch on telly, or I've also got insomnia, so I'm up about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'll just like have a potter around and make some toast. I would try something crazy. Someone would kill me.
There's something to be said about being on your own. And so, what kind of music do you listen to when you're on your own?
Well, I try not to go depressed. So I've got my kind of running songs. So anything sort of disco, anything that I don't mind, anything whatsoever. And then also like my kind of Queens of the Stone Age, sort of nosebleedy type music as well, to get me on a good run. But I try not to put too many sad songs on at night time, because then I get all melancholy and it's just like, I can't focus on sad.
Is there a concert you'll go see when you're allowed to go see them? Is there anything you'd be looking forward to?
Yeah. I'm hosting one in North Berwick. So I'm doing Basement Jacks. So that will be fun. And I'm doing a talk with Irvin Welsh up there. And then I got my daughter tickets to Reading Festival, and I got her 4 tickets. And then she's like, "Who is that for all my friends?" And I was like, "Well, I thought you and 2 of your friends, 3 of your friends, or maybe 2 of your friends and mum." And she was like, "No way. No." I said, "Honestly, you wouldn't even see me. I'll just go. You all get set up. I'll just wander off." And she's like, "Mum, you're just a liability, and I wouldn't go to a gig with you."
You know, it's amazing how what you would call trendy mums, all thinking they were going to be trendy mums, and then suddenly they go, "No, no, you're still the mum." What would you say was the difference? You're doing some work up in Scotland. The difference is between Edinburgh and living in Edinburgh and living in London. What would you say the difference was?
Well, do you know what? I miss Edinburgh like crazy, because it's so beautiful and the air is nicer and everyone's really friendly. But I also like being anonymous in London.
Yeah.
Because it's so big, you can quite easily just wander around. Whereas in Edinburgh, you'll get off the train and somebody will go, "Oh, you went to school with such and such. You went out with your brother who's." That's just getting off the train.
Yeah.
And so it's all fun and everything. But then sometimes I need to just like come here and just not everybody.
Yeah.
So I love it so much.
If you were mayor of London for the day, is there anything you would change?
Everything. No, I'd make Pride just all year round for a start. Yeah, have a party once a month. Free jelly babies on the tube, but mind you can't do that now because you're not allowed to touch anything. I don't know. Just make the tubes brighter.
Yeah,
give them a Pride makeover.
I don't know why Pride is shoved in Trafalgar Square, much as it's nice. Why there was huge Hyde Park, where it was there at one point, but let's move it to Hyde Park and then make it a 2-day celebration or a weekend celebration at the very least, and lots of different stands, and have like a gay ideal home exhibition up there and things. I mean, I could see it being a huge thing. I mean, it's great what we have, but I would like to be able to do something bigger. Don't you think so?
Yeah. Well, as well, I can't usually get to Trafalgar Square because I'm so short that by the time I reach Soho and I'm trying to get down, I can't get through the crowds, and I get exhausted.
It's really tough getting through, especially around the Trafalgar area. I think it's quite stuffy, and I was helping someone that was well known off the bus, and I was actually a bit scared because even though I'm a big guy, there wasn't a security guy around, and they were coming right on, and I think it needs changing to Hyde Park. So maybe that's something we could suggest to the organisers when they get it all together.
Be bigger. It does need to be in a bigger place, because it does get I get claustrophobic as well, especially when you're and with everything that happened at the Admiral Duncan all those years ago, remember as well, you suddenly get this horrible feeling of, oh my god, is everyone okay, because not everyone supports us.
You try not to be paranoid, because you can't live in London and be paranoid about it. But I do think
I only tend to get that worried when Honey's with me. So because we got caught up in some terror, there was a terror scare, and we were in the tube, and I've never seen Honey that scared in my entire life. So we had to just walk, and everyone was getting evacuated from centre of London, and she's in bits. And so I was just more worried about her. So when I'm on my own, I'm fine. But when I'm with Honey or with friends, I always worry about them.
Yeah.
But you're right, you can't be paranoid in London because you're just like, you'll have a heart attack.
I know, because you can get you wouldn't be able to get the tube, and unless you could get the 4 taxis. It's just. It's just not to. But anyway, would you like to say any wishes to anybody for Pride? Any last wishes to
everybody? Just have the best Pride month and just do fun things and lots of. Well, we can't really hug, can we? Well,
we can. You can hug. No, apparently, I certainly was hugging the other night a bit. So, and I've got. I think that's from being out partying, to be quite honest with you. But listen,
well, I can hug, can't I? I'll hug you next time I see you.
Yeah, I mean, we had I saw you the other day with Hub, but listen, here's a huge happy Pride to you, and thank you so much for joining me. It's been great having a cup of tea with you. Thank you.
You.
See you later.
See you later.